Hello and welcome back to another week of Sambo iRacing. You join us in the open setup Mazda MX5, this time at Road Atlanta for yet another track guide. Now, if you're watching this, you are watching it in an open setup series, and if you want to race the exact setup I'm driving in the guide, or the variants, be they quali, endurance, or wet, you can go to our website, shown on screen, sambosetups.com. Any questions, let me know in the comments, but as always, the track temps and track conditions are already shown in the overlays. Anything else, do let me know. Hope you enjoy it. Let's go. So here we are, smashing it down the main straight, and we're looking for our braking marker into turn 1, which is going to be just after the end of this grass patch. Get over to the left-hand side, lightly on the brakes to about 30%, trail it off down to the apex, back on the gas in third gear. We're going to go up the hill and through the gears. Going to give ourselves space on the right-hand side. Now, once we get on that curve, little dab of the brake down to third gear, or staying in third gear, and now back up through the gears. We can go flat through here in the MX-5. And we're looking for this curbing on the right-hand side. Once we get midway along that, on the brakes, back on the gas in third, exit nice and wide, no off-track out there. Now, as we come up to turn 6, we're going to go through the 200 feet line, and just before the 100 or the 150, whatever it is, the second line, short jab on the brakes again. As we get to the end of this curve, down to first gear, back on the gas, keep that momentum going, exit nice and wide. Now, I will say this is on a track temp of 35.6, but this was the second time that I logged in a session. I didn't get a decent time on the first one, and I had to go out. But first time I loaded in, it was 41 degrees Celsius, and then second time 35, so there might be some variance, so check that if you're struggling to meet these times. Right, we go through the 100, and we get on the brakes to almost full, drop it down second gear, miss that apex very slightly, but I was able to hold the gas all the way through the final section. I'll show you what I mean in the breakdown lap. Didn't miss it by much, maybe a foot. And over and across the line we go in a 1:35.3. Right, breakdown lap coming up now. Righty-ho, here we are on the breakdown lap. So, turn 1, what we're going to do is we're going to get straight all the way past this grass bit, and then once we're fully clear of it, we get on the brakes from a left-hand position. We get on the brakes to about 30-35%. Now we're just going to trail that off. We're going to drop it down into third ahead of the apex, still trail it off, and then once we get to this curbing here, we get back on the gas. So when we're actually at the apex, we're already back on 100%. Going to head over to the right-hand side, give ourselves a bit of room, as I say. And what we want to have now is our left-hand tyres on this rumble strip curbing. And once we get onto the middle of it, we get on the brakes briefly up to about 65-70%. Then a sharp trail off. We want to get our right-hand tyres completely cutting this corner, left-hand tyres just hanging onto the track, and then when we're at the actual apex curve itself, we're getting back on the gas already. Now, you may need to do a little bit of counter-steering through there. It can be a bit slippy, even with warm tyres and low fuel like this one was, because I've been driving for a while. Now for turn 5, we want to get our right-hand tyres up and on that curbing. And as soon as we do that, and we've got both sets of right-hand tyres on there, we get on the brakes to about 55-60%, short trail off. Left-hand tyres now getting over this curbing on the left-hand side. We should be back up to 100% once we're at the left-hand apex. And if we do it right, we're going to be all the way out here without hitting the gravel. Although you can see from that replay that I hit the gravel quite a few times in practice. Now for turn 7, you've got this set of lines here. You've got 3 sets of hashed or dashed horizontal lines. We're going to get on the brakes just after the first one, but before the second set. And we get on the brakes to about 75%, sharply on the brakes, and then a sharp trail off. Drop it down to second gear, and then back onto 100% gas before that apex. We now want to get all of our left-hand tyres onto this curbing here on the left-hand side, and we're then getting on the brakes. Well, you can see there, so you should be able to see 2 yellow sections left once you're on the brakes, and almost hit up to 100%. I immediately drop it down to second and then first, and then back up to 100% at the apex of turn 7. It does feel like you can almost get away doing it in second gear. Sometimes I was faster in second, but on this lap I used first, and it was my fastest time. What I always do, start with a full race tank of fuel and I run it till it's dry. When I crossed the line here, there were 4 laps of fuel left, so it wasn't fully empty. Right, for turn 10, we're going to get on the brakes more or less exactly at this line. So you can see it there. As soon as I get over it, I get on the brakes and I briefly hit 100%. One of the few cars you can get away with that. And I should have turned in slightly early because whilst I do actually run over this curb, on the left-hand side, I could have actually been running over some of the grass. Now, luckily, it didn't cost me because I was able to do the rest of the section still flat out. But I could have turned in, yeah, just a fraction earlier. Maybe it cost me a 10th. And over and across the line we go, 35.3. We've got one final version coming up next with the driving line on without me talking. Enjoy.